Gemini for and make your team enjoy life. Let's wait a couple of more minutes. I made something else.
Serviceform Google is the end boss.
Yes, exactly.
999.
999. I've been gathering Pokemon cards recently, and that's been like a beautiful thing from the past. This one.
Is this what you do all day?
Yeah, so Benjamin codes actually, this is what I do.
When you said
Do we have everyone in?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Okay, I'll get started. Okay, moi. And hey, I'll do this in English so we have some material to share outside as well. And the point here today is to talk about AI and take the stuff that Andrew was beautifully talking about and add much more stuff on that. So this is me. I've been doing a lot of stuff recently, 10 years plus of coding and running different kind of businesses. And one thing that I saw here last year beginning, that people saw that Google is a little bit behind in the AI world, but I saw that in the developer tools it was very high, and posted last January that Google is going to win, and then all the stocks went up and everything. So I consider myself like a very, very good person. Yeah, exactly. It's part of my responsibility. And here, some of our customers, we have 800 plus customers now, I think 860, and this month has been our best growth month so far, so fantastic. We have some salespeople, thanks to you. We have now gone very deep into the real estate. Automotive side, we have dominated that part, but now in the last year, we have gone very deep into e-commerce. Now we have big customers, about 100 of them in the e-commerce space, and we want to create something fantastic which brings everything together in the e-commerce side. And what we do at Serviceform is pretty much we take the latest stuff from Google, the cool stuff that you guys make, package it into something usable, and then give it to our partners and our e-commerce customers. And we do this, the AI we do on the websites, we do on the social media, SMS, WhatsApp, in other channels, and ideally we provide you like a multi-channel experience. So this is our goal, which means in Finnish that we get all of the websites, extra tools that you need, other than the website platform, ideally you would get from us. We don't do your shipping, but everything around the marketing and conversion side would be our goal. And this is what we've done in the past, and we have some cool stuff now, which I'm going to demo today. But before we go into all of this, I want to tell you guys a story. Can we give this guy a name? Let's call him Ari. So this is the story of Ari. Ari is from somewhere around Helsinki, and Google images are sponsored by Gemini, by the way, Nano Banana. So he grew up somewhere around Helsinki, very happy. Helsinki was beautiful back then, all the cars were nice and church is in the wrong place. But everything was fantastic back then. He went to school in Jätkäsaaren peruskoulu, was fantastic. And I also like how the AI made the ei kiusaa, which is nice. And then Finland won Sweden in 1995, which is the turning point of everyone's life in Finland. And Ari started his e-commerce store because he thinks that he's unstoppable. So he was like, now I'll do this. And then he grew it into a massive store. This is Ari's store. This is a fake store. And he found a beautiful wife. Everything is going well. But then something happens. ChatGPT gets released, and it gets to 100 million users. And all of a sudden, LinkedIn is full of horrible people saying that we fired our tech team, AI is taking over your job. And then there's this banana that comes out. And then everyone is wondering, what is this banana? And that causes a lot of stress to a lot of us. And that is the point I'm trying to make here, that every single one of us is sort of in the same spot. Every one of us is in our own way. We are Ari. We are wondering, where's the world going? Where are my skills? What are the things that I did in the past? Are they still valuable? And when this comes to e-commerce, my goal here is to show that what you can do today, what you can protect, and a lot of stuff, nice demos and everything. And one interesting conversation I had with one of the largest e-commerce stores in Sweden. I just talked to their person who's redoing their website, and it's going to take a year. So they started the project now, and they think that it's going to be ready next spring. And she asked me that, do you think people will still buy from a website in a year? And my answer to that is that even if they wouldn't, it's very important that you have that information in some place that is accessible and good. And I think everyone will still buy from a web shop in 1 year. I think even in the next 10 years. But there was clearly this worry, even with the top people in the industry, that where is the world going? And you said that not to make these steps and not to do all that, but I a little bit disagree because that's something we can do right now. And I want to talk about the buying process. So if you think about when you want to buy something, for example, I have this beautiful iPhone mini, which doesn't anymore charge. So I need to charge it from like a touchless thing because the thing doesn't work. So I have the first step in the buying process, which is a trigger. So I have some kind of need. Then I will go somewhere and search for a product. Then I will go somewhere to compare different products. Then I will validate my purchase. I will ask my friends, well, how is your phone? Or I will ask AI, how is your phone? How is my phone? Is this the better one? Is that the better one? And then I will actually make the purchase. And then I will get angry at my phone, so I want to return it. And then I also can create loyalty. And these are sort of the whole buying process of what happens. And what I want to do now is to go through each step and show you guys what you can do in practice. First of all, search. So when you're starting the buying process, you need to find the products that you want and how to rank in search. So this has been something that there's lots of dodgy SEO people who take a lot of money and has been doing that for a long time. There's good SEO companies as well. And now they are calling it, what do they call it nowadays? Like the AI search optimization, GEO or something. Anyway, but the basics are still very much the same as it was with SEO. That make sure that every one of your web pages has a schema on the page, so it's easy to read. And if you use a modern platform like Shopify, WooCommerce, some of the Finnish ones as well, which are nice, you will get a schema out of the box, but there's a checker by Google in the bottom. I'll share it also. This will be emailed to you as well. So if you go with that and check one of your product pages, you will actually see if it's in good format. You can also just go to Gemini and put your product page and ask, this is good. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So the URL works very well. So the idea is like a technical product schema on your website. Very important. And then getting mentioned where AI is looking. This is the same as SEO. So make good content, make sure that you are submitting your stuff to Google and all this. Make sure that you're visible. And comparisons, stats, fact dense content, everything that gets indexed by Google, it's also indexed by the AI when it searches and crawls. What we saw earlier is Reddit was fantastic. Like all the AI is trained on Reddit, so the companies who are linking on Reddit were very high. Now it's a bit less Reddit reliable. And the issue on this part is the how to rank in AI search. There's no like one way to do this, and everyone's doing different things, and there's no. But this is sort of the consensus of what's out there. And maybe just make sure that you're submitting your product feeds. And the fifth point is also very important for AI search, which I'll show next, that you have good product feeds. Okay, so then when you have done the search part, then the customer finds your website. So how do I make my website search modern? So here we have a couple of examples which we have done, which is there's a lot of other tools doing this as well. For example, we have Interflora here, which is a e-commerce store for flowers. So people used to look for catalogs and categories, but now you can like say things like, I'm looking for flowers for my sister, and then it gives you a nice, like a flower. And then you get the products, and then we also see like the products here. And when you have a Shopify or WooCommerce store, it's a deeper integration, which I'll show next, you can also add it to the cart, you can do a lot more there, and you can search much more broadly. So this is another example, which is a shoe store where, for example, normally you would go to the top, you would be like, okay, I'm looking for a dress, where can I find the dress? Then you cannot find it. So what we have done is, for example, that you can ask with your own keywords. That I have tomorrow an event with Google. I'm just looking for some dress. I'm a woman in this case. And I want it to be business casual. Right? So this is the kind of like weird searches that people do. And we have optimized everything super fast. This runs on Gemini, but an internal model as well, and then it actually gives you very nice dresses. And then you can also check the dresses, you can look at all this. And this all comes from the product data. So if you don't have this, it's nice. And then you have all these variant selectors and this kind of stuff, so you can actually add to the cart as well. Nice. And then it continues also from the product search into the product page, where you then can say that, hey, this is a nice dress, like tell me something about the dress, or can I return the dress, or all this information. This is more on the validation part, because a lot of people, when they use this, which we see, is that they say stuff like, is this shoe wide enough for my fat feet, right? That's what people ask. And then we see a lot of people that after they say that, they are 4 to 6 times more likely to buy, and it depends on the shop. And you can ask, the AI is also fed the data from this into and you can ask actually anything from it. UI can be also like inside of the page and these kind of things. And for another little bit different industry example, this is from Finland's largest real estate website, is that, do you have a place in Turku with 2 bedrooms under 170K? And I put also kilo, I like to be like cool. And then we get actually quite a nice answer with, and this is live, you can go play with this. Then it's all public. So this is there, it gives you answers, and we also have a map search, and this is all like super nice, nice stuff. So the Kamux as well, we have a nice car search where we have done another version of the same search, which is more like a traditional search, but in the traditional search bar, you also have like an AI option. So you can type into that I would like some cheap Toyota for my wife. And then it starts checking, and then we get some very, very beautiful Toyota, very, very beautiful Toyotas. And then the point is that, let's say this Yago here is, Aigo is fantastic. You can go to that product page, and then the conversation continues here in the chat. You can talk to the salesperson as well, and then we have it like in line of the page, so you can ask questions from the AI about this car. You can be like, when was this model? And is this 2007 something that usually breaks? And this is quite nice. And results are very nice. So the results of this is that we have seen that the people who interact with the AI on your site, they are 4 times more likely to buy than someone who does not. And we have seen that the interaction rate is 4 to 8%. So with this, you can get nice numbers and boost the sales. And this is how you can one way you can make your search like a modern experience. Then we look at a little bit on how to get my visitors to buy something when they have added something to the cart. So one big issue we have on the e-commerce sites is that we have a 70% of people drop off. So that you add the dress to the cart, then you go away. And 70% is the average. And we have seen a nice increase by doing something like this, where you have a bike and you're not sure which which size suits me, for example. And then you're about to leave the site, then we can pop up a message that ask the AI. And we have seen here with this kind of simple exit intent pop-up, where you have something in the cart, you're about to leave the page, that it's approximately 7% that we get the cart abandonment down, which is massive numbers. And this is something that's super easy to try, by the way. So even if you have just a developer, you can just set this up very quickly. Of course, we provide the tools as well. But if you just have a developer, just try. It's very simple setup. And then a little bit on the validation part, which we talked about a little bit earlier, is that there's an example, for example, that you are a bodybuilder, you want some creatine, and then a lot of the people go, let me pause this for a sec, they go away from your site to get that information. So when you're talking about like creatine, is it good for me? You can actually ask these questions from the same AI. You don't need to leave the site, because we want to keep the person here, because if they go into Gemini, then they will go to another store and buy it. So you can actually like validate the purchase and validate the purchase here. So this is like one example we have done, that is creatine good for me? And then it gives you like a nice basic AI answer. Same thing that Gemini would give you on their side, but now the point is that it's also looking at this specific product, and the specific information is given here. That it adds power and blah, 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 blah. Fantastic. And then one thing we have seen a lot is on the following side, like how to boost your following. What is something that's very important in e-com is that if you're selling iPhones, everyone's iPhone is going to be the same. But why you're gonna go somewhere is because there's a brand or there's a following or you get a newsletter at the right time. And the very basic thing that every one of us knows, but we do pretty badly, is pop-ups. Pop-ups are ugly; they come at the right time. So what we have seen is that on a site, almost every second visitor, when you have a pop-up at the right time, you will get their email. And these numbers are just true. It's very easy. And when you have, let's say, 100,000 traffic, you get 20,000 newsletter signups. Then you just need to feed them with proper content. And we have tools for that as well, where you can email them as well from the system. And a little bit on the bigger carts, how to get bigger carts, because if you buy with 100 euros, we would of course want them to buy with 120. So a little bit back to the stiletto example, that if we add this, we can add it to the cart here, or we can add it to the cart in the bot. If we add it to the cart, then we start upselling. So if you added this, you probably want this kind of scarf, or do you want these kind of like other things? So these are also like AI-based recommendations based on the product data, and then you can set these up as well. And the point is that when you add something to the cart, then we have made something which, after you add it to the cart, we do like a re-upsell. So then you're like,
How long does this go on?
it's an endless loop. It's an endless loop. Hopefully forever. Yeah.
How much money you have?
Exactly. But this is we've seen nice numbers around this as well, and the same thing can also be shown as a pop-up, or in the middle of the pop-up, or in the in the cart page when the user is about to do a purchase. But this has been a nice way to increase the cart size. And this is another example. What you can do is that if you add this to the cart, then you can do a upsell with put this protein patukka in your cart as well. Why not? And again, these are like, how it works is that we need to get your product data. So if you don't have your product data, everything is very difficult. So if you have access to that, if you Shopify or WooCommerce, everything comes like, pop, nice. And a couple of Finnish ones as well, Magento as well. But if you have a custom shop, then you make sure that your product data is available. If you have a custom shop, make sure that you have those Google shopping feeds and everything, because then not us, but someone else will want to make you a model, and then they need that data. Nice. And then a little bit on the after sales support side, there's an example with Ruoto here that we can say this is a category bot, by the way. So we can, for example, say that I want to start fly fishing, and then it will tell you the products you need to start fly fishing with. And then we can ask also, like, is this first one in the storage? And it will actually find the first one and show you actually the storage values. And this is a little bit deeper integration, for example, which we have to a couple of sites. And then you can ask for the support questions. We have seen that 70% of customer support questions is about existing orders. So this is a nice one that you can ask, like, where's my order? Pretty much shortly said. And then we will push you towards like an intent, which is to check your product information. And this is just an integration again to their order tracking system. And this is super nice. With Masku, we have seen that they had 70% of their requests to reduce to get the order status have been reduced by just having this like very easy, accessible information. Here you just need to think about the GDPR, right? Do you want one access, one like with a code, or do you want phone number, or do you want something to get that information? But this has been something that we've been through, and it's been very, very good for these guys. And then what we have, our recent beautiful product is something that we are taking all of your emails of your company into one place, and you can use the AI that we have trained on your front page. We can use it also to answer your customer support emails in one place. So if you have a customer that comes here, you can generate answer with AI. It makes you like a answer, and it sends it to the customer. But it's important that you still review of course, the information that goes out. But this has been very nice. We are using it for our support team now, relatively successfully. It's still a very like an early version, but we have a couple of big e-com shops that are taking it into use. Very excited to see where it goes. Nice. So this is pretty much the overview that I'd like you guys to remember, that give your users a better way to search, some kind of modern way to search, which is not just the catalog, basic like you need to select your catalog. People want to search with stuff like, I have a problem, what is the solution? And then ideally your AI or your website will give that answer. You want to validate their purchase, you want to upsell more to them, make sure that they don't leave your site, gather the newsletter signups, and automate the queries. And this is something that AI can do today, not next week, today. And a little bit on the bigger picture. If you think about IKEA, IKEA. If you think about IKEA, IKEA is not going to go out of business because of AI. And why? Massive distribution, brand, own products. And if you have an e-com shop, what is your brand? What is your unique product? What is your own product? What is your moat against these other companies? So for example, me and my father run a guitar string shop, and we were just selling the same guitar strings as the other guy. So there's no like, it's the same stuff. But for example, if we would make some little bit better Finnish string, then that's a completely different game. So it's something to think about also for the business. It's something that I can create which is valuable. And the other thing is the following. So we have one customer in Spain that does newsletters-based marketing only. And they have like 2 million in their newsletter signups. And they just push out new dresses to them people, and then they just come and buy them. So they create this like a following. So what is your like, or what is your customers, something that you could give them that gives them like a competitive edge? Yeah, so these are the basic things that you could do to think about a little bit more, like how do I protect myself against the competition? And for us, we had a big issue because we were a chat widget company, and now everyone can just make a chat widget, right? So what we wanted to do is go much deeper into the data, integrate to the platforms, and that is our protection. And then we have the information, we have fantastic distribution with the sales guys. That is like our moat. Nice. So to conclude everything, AI changes the way people search, but they will still come to your site. So why not make your shopping experience exceptional? And that's it for today.